High above the mountains of ancient China, storm clouds gather. Thunder rolls across the valleys, and a shadow glides through the mist. For thousands of years, stories have spoken of a legendary being, not feared as a monster, but honored as a bringer of life. Its body stretches like a river in the sky, its scales shimmer like molten gold, and its eyes hold the wisdom of centuries. This is the Chinese dragon, a creature unlike any other in human imagination. Neither demon nor beast, it is the guardian of rain, the keeper of rivers, the protector of prosperity. But where did this legend begin? Was it born from the minds of storytellers, or from encounters with something very real? Across China, its image is everywhere, carved into stone, painted on silk, dancing in festivals. It is a symbol of strength and good fortune, yet also of mercy and balance. To the Chinese people, the dragon is more than a tale. It is an eternal presence, watching over the land, ensuring the cycle of life continues. Ancient texts tell us the dragon could summon clouds with a flick of its whiskers, call down rain with a roar, and breathe life into the dry earth. In times of drought, people would pray to the dragon for mercy, and in times of flood, they would beg it to be gentle. The dragon's power was as feared as it was loved. In this journey, we will travel deep into history and myth to uncover the truth behind the Chinese dragon. We will explore its origins, its role in shaping a civilization, and the secrets hidden in its scales. This is the story of the guardian of rain and the keeper of power. Our journey takes us back, far back, over 5,000 years ago. This was ancient China, a world of winding rivers, towering mountains shrouded in mist, and vast open skies. Here, nature was both a blessing and a challenge. Farmers depended on the rivers for their crops, but they also feared the floods and droughts that could wipe out entire harvests. In this land of beauty and uncertainty, a legend began to take shape, the legend of a creature unlike any other. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence of this legend in the oldest Chinese artifacts. Jade carvings, pottery designs, silk paintings, each one depicting the same figure, a long serpent-like body, claws like an eagle, antlers like a deer, and a head shaped like a camel. It was powerful yet graceful. To the people of that time, this was not a monster, but a divine force, a protector. Unlike the dragons of Western myths, which breathe fire and guard piles of gold, the Chinese dragon had no wings, and yet it soared across the skies. It did not burn villages or hunt knights. Instead, it brought clouds, rain, and life to the land. It was a creature of harmony, a bridge between heaven and earth. In the beliefs of ancient China, dragons ruled the waters. They lived in rivers, lakes, and oceans, their breath forming the clouds, their claws stirring the tides, their mighty roar rolling across the skies as thunder. When the dragon stirred, the land would drink. When it rested, the earth would dry and crack. The people knew to survive, they must honor the dragon. They called it Long, a name that would echo through thousands of years, a name painted on scrolls, carved into temples, and whispered in prayers for rain. To say the word Long was to call upon strength, prosperity, and balance. From humble carvings in jade to grand paintings across the walls of imperial palaces, the dragon's image spread across the land. It became more than a creature of myth. It became a symbol of China itself, the guardian of nature, the bringer of rain, and the eternal spirit of a civilization. And as the centuries passed, the stories of the dragon would only grow, becoming tales of kings, gods, and cosmic power. But perhaps its greatest gift was yet to come. In ancient China, rain was not just weather. It was life itself. A single season without it could starve entire villages. A single flood could wash away years of work in a single night. For the farmers, for the traders, for every beating heart, the coming of rain meant survival. But when the skies stayed empty, the people did not pray to the clouds. They turned their hopes to a far greater power, the mighty dragon, celestial guardian of the waters, whose breath was said to carry the life-giving rain across the land. The old stories speak of the dragon kings, four great rulers of water. Each commanded one of the four seas, east, south, west, and north. Their palaces were said to lie far beneath the waves, glittering halls of pearl and crystal, guarded by fish soldiers and shimmering merfolk. When a dragon king rose from the ocean, the water trembled, and their enormous bodies coiled upward into the clouds. Scales gleamed like wet silver, eyes burned like lanterns in a storm, and the rains followed wherever they went, drenching the land below in the dragon's blessing. In the dry months, desperation could be felt in every village. To call the rains, emperors and farmers alike turned to ancient rituals. Priests in embroidered robes beat deep, echoing drums. Their rhythms meant to awaken the sleeping dragons in the clouds. Dancers moved in great circles, twisting like the flow of rivers, while offerings of silk, rice, and jade were cast into sacred waters. These gifts were not for humans to use, but for the dragons to keep, as a sign of respect and gratitude. For only a pleased dragon would breathe the mist that brought rain to the fields. It was believed the dragon's breath itself could become rain. Warm, rolling mist rose from its nostrils, climbing into the sky, where it formed the heavy clouds that nourished the land. In summer, the great monsoon winds were said to be the beating wings of dragons, vast, unseen shapes driving the storms inland from the seas. Each thunderclap, each flash of lightning, was a sign of the dragons at work. When the rains finally came, they fell not as random storms, but as the dragon's deliberate gift to the earth. Every drop was a promise that the bond between humans and dragons still lived. But the dragon's gift was a double-edged sword. Too much rain, and the rivers would swell into monsters of their own, devouring fields, drowning livestock, sweeping away homes. The same power that gave life could take it away in a heartbeat. When the floods came, people said the dragon was not cruel, only angry, angered by human greed, waste, or disrespect for nature. In those times, the message was clear. The balance had been broken and must be restored, for the dragon ruled not only the waters, but the harmony of the world itself. To honor the dragon was to honor life. To respect the rain was to respect the delicate balance of the earth. For as long as the rains fell, life endured. And as long as the dragon soared across the clouds, hope remained in the hearts of the people. The dragon was not only a creature of legend, it was the beating heart of the sky. In the heart of ancient China, power flowed like a river from the emperor's throne. But this power was not his alone. He ruled as the Son of Heaven, chosen to maintain the balance between earth and sky. And to the people, there was no greater symbol of this divine right than the dragon. Its image curled across royal banners, carved into palace gates, woven into silk robes that only the emperor could wear. For just as the dragon commanded the rain, the emperor commanded the fate of the land. The seat of the emperor itself was called the Dragon Throne, a name whispered with awe and fear. It was more than a chair. It was the axis of the world, the place from which all laws and blessings flowed. Legends told that when the emperor was just and wise, the dragons of the sky would bring gentle rains and rich harvests. But if he ruled with cruelty or greed, storms would turn violent, and the land would wither under the dragon's silent judgment. The emperor's power, like the dragon's, was both a blessing and a warning. No ordinary person could wear the dragon. In golden embroidery, the imperial dragon stretched across the emperor's robes, 5 claws gripping the clouds, its body alive with motion even in stillness. Each claw held meaning: 5 for the emperor, 4 for nobles, 3 for the common people in art alone. The colors too were sacred: brilliant gold for imperial power, deep blue for wisdom, and crimson for the dragon's fiery spirit. When the emperor appeared in full dragon robes, it was as though the mythical beast itself had taken human form, ready to command the heavens. Even the walls of the forbidden city bore the dragon's mark. Dragons coiled along roof ridges, their ceramic bodies gleaming under the sun. Massive stone carvings showed dragons chasing the flaming pearl, the symbol of wisdom and cosmic power. Every doorway was guarded by these celestial beasts, ensuring that only harmony and prosperity could pass inside. In great halls, golden dragons spiraled up the pillars, as though they were climbing into the heavens. From the walls of ancient palaces to the delicate threads of silk paintings, the Chinese dragon has danced through the heart of art for thousands of years. It was never just an ornament, never just decoration. Every scale, every swirling cloud, every fierce, watchful eye carried a message, a promise of power, protection, and divine balance. In the paintings of old masters, the dragon's body bends and twists like a mighty river, flowing endlessly, without beginning or end. Its long whiskers drift in the wind, its horns curve toward the heavens, and in its claws, the pearl of wisdom glows with an inner light. This pearl was no ordinary jewel. It was said to control rain, summon storms, and guard the harmony between heaven and earth. Step into the forbidden city, and you'll find dragons carved into stone steps, painted across crimson beams, and woven into golden tiles. These were not random patterns, they were declarations. To the people, the emperor himself was the living dragon, chosen by the heavens, the bridge between mortal life and the celestial realm. Walking these palace corridors was like stepping into the dragon's domain, a place where every wall whispered loyalty to the throne. Far from the capital, in the quiet courtyards of temples, dragons watched from the rooftops. Ceramic guardians curled along the roof edges, jaws open, teeth bared, ready to breathe fire against evil spirits. Their bright, glazed scales caught the sun by day, and by night, their shadows merged with the stars. For those who passed beneath them, there was comfort, the feeling that unseen forces stood watch. Dragons were not reserved for the grand and mighty alone. They found their way into everyday life, onto porcelain bowls, lacquered screens, and silk robes. A vase might show a dragon racing through storm clouds, chasing the pearl of wisdom, while a robe, worn by the emperor, wrapped him in shimmering gold scales. A second skin that glowed in the flicker of candlelight, making him seem less man, more divine creature. The dragon lived not only in myths, but in the bricks, the paint, and the fabric of the empire. People did not simply see the dragon. They felt it. When you walked under its carved gaze, you could sense its silent warning. Protect the land, respect the balance, or face the storm. It was art, yes, but also a living presence woven into daily life, one scale at a time. Through brushstrokes and stone carvings, through silk threads and golden tiles, the Chinese dragon spirit has never faded. Even today, in modern cities and ancient temples alike, its image still whispers of power, rain, and the endless sky. The guardian, still watching, still waiting. Long before ink touched paper, before palaces rose and emperors reigned, the dragon was already there, moving through the mists of time. It was said to be born from the breath of the universe itself, a creature without beginning, without end. To speak of the dragon was to speak of the very heartbeat of the land. In the oldest legends, the dragon was not a destroyer, but a giver of life. It coiled through the clouds to pour rain upon the thirsty earth. It guarded rivers, shaped mountains, and whispered to the wind. When farmers prayed for rain, they didn't pray to the sky. They prayed to the dragon, believing it carried the clouds like pearls in its claws. But the dragon's blessing was not given freely. If humans disrespected the land, cut forests carelessly, poisoned rivers, the dragon could grow restless. Storms would rage, rivers would flood, and lightning would strike without warning. It was not revenge, but a reminder. Harmony must be kept, or nature will roar. In the deep myths of coastal villages, there were not one, but 4 great dragon kings, rulers of the seas and the rains, each guarding a corner of the world. The azure dragon ruled the East Sea, bringing spring rains and new life. The white dragon guarded the west, keeper of justice. The black dragon ruled the frozen north, bringing winter's trials. And the red dragon ruled the south, where the summer sun blazed bright. Temples were built to honor them, incense offered in quiet devotion. On festival days, people danced in the streets beneath great dragon puppets, their movements flowing like rivers. A promise to the sky that the people still remembered, still respected, still feared, the ancient guardians above. Many tales told of heroes who met dragons, not in battle, but in moments of destiny. A poor fisherman saving a stranded dragon in shallow waters, and in return, being granted a life of prosperity. A wandering scholar meeting a dragon in human form, learning secrets of wisdom before dawn erased the memory. These stories taught that the dragon was not just power, but also kindness, if your heart was pure. From the mountains to the seas, from whispered prayers to roaring storms, the dragon's legend flowed through every stream of China's history. It was more than a creature. It was rain, justice, balance, and life itself. And even now, in the rush of the wind, in the rumble of thunder, some say, the dragon still listens. From the mountains to the seas, from whispered prayers to roaring storms, the dragon's legend flowed through every stream of China's history. It was more than a creature. It was rain, justice, balance, and life itself. And even now, in the rush of the wind, in the rumble of thunder, some say, the dragon still listens. Across centuries, the image of the Chinese dragon has evolved from myth into a living symbol of cultural pride. No longer just a guardian of rain, it became the heartbeat of festivals, the spirit of dynasties, and the emblem of power and good fortune. During Lunar New Year celebrations, the streets come alive with the famous dragon dance. Long, shimmering bodies twist and coil in rhythmic motion, mimicking the ancient movements of their celestial counterparts. Drums thunder, cymbals clash, and the crowd cheers as the dragon chases the pearl, a symbol of wisdom and prosperity. In imperial palaces, dragons are carved into jade, painted on porcelain, and etched into golden thrones. The Forbidden City itself holds over 13,000 dragon motifs, each a silent guardian of the emperor's divine right to rule. In the Chinese language, the dragon's influence flows like a river. Even today, people proudly call themselves the descendants of the dragon. In bedtime stories, parents tell their children not of a monster to be slain, but of a noble ancestor, wise, powerful, and benevolent. It is a reminder that the dragon's strength lies not in destruction, but in unity, endurance, and the courage to face the storms of life. This legacy has crossed mountains, seas, and centuries. In Chinatowns around the world, dragons crown the gates that welcome visitors. They march in parades, painted in gold and crimson, winding through streets alive with music and firecrackers. To the overseas Chinese, the dragon is more than a memory of the homeland. It is a piece of their soul, carried across oceans, passed down through generations. From mist-covered mountains to neon-lit cities, from the painted scrolls of the ancients to the high-definition screens of today, the Chinese dragon remains eternal. It is a bridge between the mythic and the real, between the past and the present. Its wings are woven from legend, but its heartbeat still echoes in the hearts of millions. And so, the guardian of rain and power continues to soar, not just in the skies of China,